Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Tucson. So I go back to rest again to finish my meditation, and I get another vision of my grandson. Um, he the other day was upset about something, and he wouldn't stop crying, and so I left the room for a second. Thought I went to get him something to drink because you know I don't know, nonverbal. But when I came back, he was on his knees and he was holding his chest. And I go, what is it? And he threw himself to the side. And I realized right then and there he has heartburn. So I went and got the heartburn medicine and I gave it to him. And a couple of minutes later, he was fine. He was up moving around and, and going all over the place. But when my daughter was young, she wasn't that age, but so I drank a lot of caffeine with my daughter when I was pregnant with her, and I couldn't eat anything but Mexican food and wild game. So when she was born, she slept for like 2.5 months. That's all she did was sleep. We had to always keep checking on her. And her son did the same thing. He slept for, I mean, slept and slept and slept. But when she woke up screaming. She was a colic baby. And it was a lot. Uh, Her dad, he worked, so we lived on the job site. So when I couldn't take it anymore, I would drive over there with her and leave her with him. And all the guys would take turns holding her on their forearm, face down, because that seemed to soothe her. Car rides didn't work, the dryer didn't work. Um, and in the car, she would scream bloody murder. She did not like the car. So, but it's strange with my grandson is that he has ways how he communicates of something's wrong. And I just find it real fascinating because he may not be verbal, but he has his own cues. And I've learned them over this past 3 years. I just find it fascinating how he does it. And I think of the Lord Jesus Christ because when my daughter was born, she didn't have a way to have that cue. She didn't talk either till she was 4. She was real quiet. She followed, anything I asked her, she did, and she was real good. I remember one time I cleaned her room, I put up everything, put everything away. I vacuumed, washed her sheets, made her bed. And then her brother comes to me and goes, I want to show you something. And he was even floored. Um, Her room is exactly the way it was right before I took it apart. So the IQs are, they both have real high IQs. Um, but she wasn't autistic. As far as I know, she wasn't. I took her on lots of walks. She learned a lot. She lived in the library practically with me. Um, they didn't have cues. I remember when she would point, and her brother told me, "Don't allow her to point. Make her tell you what she wants." So that's when she starts speaking. Um, he doesn't point for anything. He tries to get it himself, and I really like the independence that he carries. Um, it's it's very moving to see. I want this. I'm gonna go get it. He does. And this is another thing that's really fascinating. He started about 4 weeks ago. He will take something from something and he will put it back. He'll pick it up, take out what he needs, and then he puts it down. If he spills it, he'll pick up all the pieces, put it in there, and just take the one or two, whatever he's seeking. I've never even like it. It gives me goosebumps just talking about it. Um, and when he's done with his toys now, he like if he's playing with his cars, he puts them all in his bucket, and he puts that away, and then he'll pull out something else. Um, Maybe it's a fluke. I don't know, but I'm seeing things in him that I wasn't expecting, and I'm observing and I'm paying attention. And I think these are really important because I've talked about being independent. He may be young, but he knows what he needs. Nonverbal. So I just find it fascinating by giving him that independence is showing this character of this young man who is blowing our minds. I mean, I'm fascinated by it because a lot of the other parents I met in the past with autistic children, there seems to be always a lot of control. But he is running off again, so it worked for a little while. But he's still like, see ya. He just wants to go and just go and go and go. So that still makes me real nervous. Um, so you know, but I've seen people like, be frustrated. I've heard their children have their outbursts. He has his too. He has his moments, but we just let him be. We don't like sit there and we expect you to behave. We expect you to do this. We expect you to. We don't do that. We just let him be. And I have put him in his room. Um, if it's past 5 or 6 minutes, I put him in his room. When he's done, he comes out. Another thing I like about him too. So, and I've actually picked this up from him. When he wakes up in the morning, he doesn't come out right away. He lays in his bed, he stretches, he does what he wants for 30 to 40 minutes, and then he comes out. And I think that's pretty cool. I I think about that, and I'm doing that now, and I like it a lot. It's a different mood. Right. Peace. God bless.